YouTubers, Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. I got someone message me asking me, Mike, what's the lowest property tax in Canada? And maybe it might be a place I might want to live in because maybe the taxes might be low enough that the taxes overall might be just cheaper. Well, you could that pipe dream is gone. Vancouver has the lowest property tax rate in Canada, and that's how it works, guys. When you see lower property taxes, it's because housing prices are through the roof. So now, let me give you an example. If, for example, housing prices in Vancouver were to go down to, let's say, about $400,000, $500,000 for the average median home, because that's what the average person in Vancouver with their income could afford to buy. Property taxes would just go up to 0.67, almost a percent. They have to. They're only low because they're making what they need to make off the property tax, enough to make per household to cover the city's nut. Once property values go down, they're going to have to raise property tax. They're going to have to, because they're going to have to keep that same flow. They're not going to keep property taxes low if the price of housing goes down, right? Because then they're going to obviously tax less. And they're going, whoa. We're not covering our nut now. We need to make things work, so we're going to have to raise property taxes. So Vancouver has the lowest property tax rate in Canada. So it says right here, sure, housing prices in Vancouver are through the roof, but it might be somewhat comforting to know the city is also home to the lowest property taxes in the country. Those are the findings of the newly released report from Zoukasa that looked at property tax rates of 25 major cities in Canada to understand how taxes range between them. Out of 25 major cities, the city studies that Vancouver ranks the best for property tax with the lowest rate at 0.24%. In comparison, Toronto's rate 2.6 times of Vancouver's at 0.635, and Calgary's rate is about 2.6 times the Vancouver's of 0.6. However, the report did note that living in a city with low property tax rate doesn't always mean you have to pay lower. You pay lower taxes if the average home prices are higher. For example, in Toronto, the tax rate is 0.635%, which translates into $5,332 in property taxes based in June of 2018, a home value of $870,000. Well, here's the deal. They don't have to raise property taxes in Toronto because the prices of homes are going up. So property tax in result will go up. So they don't have to raise property taxes in Toronto. They've already been high when the average house was $230,000. They were high. They were at this rate. So they're making it look good. Hey, we're not raising property tax on you guys. Other provinces are, but we're not. Well, you know what? They don't have to raise property taxes because when property values go to $870,000 from $300,000, guess what? You don't need to raise property taxes because you're paying 0.6% amount on that $870,000. So there it is, based on the average June 2018 home value of $870,000. So in comparison with Edmonton's tax rate at 0.86, or it's about 1.4 times of Toronto, but the average values of Edmonton substantially lower than $381,000, which should result in a lower amount of property taxes overall of $3,314. No, but see, property taxes will be higher here to subsidize and basically pay for the city's expenses. Like, you see where I'm saying here? It's got to go higher here, and it's got to go down here. But they're smart in Toronto. They keep the property tax high. Property prices go up. They don't have to raise the property tax as a whole, so it looks like they're not raising taxes on you. But meanwhile, you're paying more taxes because of the whole amount is going up, and you're paying more tax in return, right? While each province and municipality, their own tax formula enunciates an individual's property tax is greatly based on the following: an assessment of value of their home, which is typical conducted by the provincial authorities. For example, Ontario's Municipal Property Assessment Corporation, BC Assessment, and Saskatchewan Assessment Agency. A residential rate set by a local tax authority to the authority or municipal council. This established annual based on the municipality budget required by expenditures for the year. So this cities with the lowest property tax. So Vancouver, very expensive. Abbotsford, very expensive. Victoria, very expensive. Kelowna, very expensive. Toronto is expensive. So Toronto and Calgary, they don't raise rates because the price of housing goes up. You see what I'm saying? So they don't have to, they don't have to. Vancouver, if this goes up to 0.5% with the average price of home there, good luck. Cities with the highest property tax rate based on cities including, so Here, St. John, New Brunswick, Federal. See how high property taxes are there? But you go to, well, Hamilton's expensive. But if you go to Winnipeg, for example, Fredericton, St. John, you can still pick up something under 150,000, something decent under 150,000. So you're paying only property tax on 150,000 at this percentage point. But if houses in Toronto go down to 150,000, they're just going to raise rates to this high. So they, we got to raise rates now. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Property taxes, it's a hit and miss thing. It's very hard to explain. It's the more the taxes, the more the homes are valued, the lower the property taxes are. So it doesn't seem so big on paper with the percentage points. But if property prices crash, then they're going to have to raise property taxes in return to cover that nut, or to continue receiving the subsidy from the homeowner who is illegally paying tax for a home they own. Let me know what you guys think below. Thanks for watching.